really enjoyed driving this car because the steering is a little wonky, and it has been for as long as I've had it. And I remember Mike talking about, he called it top heavy, but I don't think it's top heavy as much as it's something wrong with the steering. So as y'all know, I did put a Prius power, electronic power steering assist in this, and it's still, steers easier, but it's still a little wonky going down the road. So I got to investigating it yesterday, and I figured out that this brace here, which holds the steering box, will move. I don't know if I can make it move so you can see it here. I actually was trying to do this without anybody to turn the wheel for me the other day, and I put my cell phone under it and I filmed it. But if you watch, I am wobbling the tire now, and you may be able to see if I got my camera lined up right. But that is moving. Now the frame's not moving. This is a steel box frame. Studebaker had a really heavy frame. But apparently Mike welded this piece on here. He put a gusset in it, but it still wobbles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 more gussets to that, and then Bill was looking at it this morning about got it figured out. So I'm going to pop the front wheel off, get under there, and I may have to reshape the gusset I'm putting on it, or one of them. And then we'll see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, I've got another idea to brace it up even more. But first of all, first thing to do is get the wheel off. And the handy dandy little extraction tool here. So I'm gonna go grind this off here. That way this will be well out of the way of that spring there. And it looks like the part up there fits the frame pretty well. That's a 1/2 inch piece of steel right there. But I believe that will do the trick. And it'll still allow me to get that bolt in and out without any problem. So that magnet is holding that in place for me. You see there's a little lip here. This thing is wider than the frame, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the grinder and cut this off. I'm going to shave about that much of it off. About 3/16 of an inch. So that should give me a good place to weld to right here. Kind of stick it on there right here and right there. I have a brake line that runs behind this piece, so I don't want to get a lot of hot weld up in there because I don't want to burn that brake line. But if I get a good weld out on either end here and out here on both sides, that'll be good. So I'm going to bring my welding lead under the car here, and we'll see how that goes, sticking that on there. I've got another piece that I made to go over here, but I might not need it. Okay, so I came prepared to put 2 braces on there, but that one might be all I need. And I should be able to tell pretty easy if I put the, but before when I would shake the tire from side to side, it would move. And of course I'm going to paint that and pretty it up, but I think before I do anything else, I'm going to put that front tire back on there. And we're going to see if it has any movement in it now. And if it doesn't, obviously I'm going to check, make sure I didn't burn a brake line in two. And we'll take it down the road and see how she does. It still has movement in it. Here, you can see it. I'm just gonna wobble that wheel back and forth. You see that moving right there? It's still moving. Even that welded like that. Is that whole frame moving? Okay. That just don't seem like that would be possible. So, I need to think this through a little bit. Because what I thought, another thing I thought about doing was putting a piece alongside the frame down here, backing this bolt out, and putting a piece out here and running that bolt through 2 sides so that this is mounted to both sides of the frame. But I mean, with that thing moving like that, I mean, how can that be happening? Unless the frame itself is moving. I mean, I can do that. I can take this screw out, get a longer screw, make a piece that goes down beside the frame, comes into that and bolts to the frame. I would have thought that brace I just put on there would have done the trick. No. I'm gonna have to give this some thought. Alright, I'm gonna turn y'all off. I obviously want to make all this prettier, you know, and paint it and all, but it doesn't make any sense to clean it up any until I'm through. I might run a little bit more weld up in here, up and down through there. Make that weld prettier over here. And while I got everything here, for all the welding rods and everything, I think I can do that without even taking the tire back off. So I'm thinking this is going to require some additional fabrication, and I think what I'm going to do is put this bolt back in here and put this away. We are actually getting ready to leave to go on our trip to Edisto Island. So I think this is going to require some additional fabrication because I need to come up with something stronger than what's here. And I'm thinking about getting a goodly sized plate to come down here and put a bolt here and have it come all the way up to this motor mount. But I don't want to do that today because it would kind of make me have to. Well, I got other things I need to do basically. So I think I'm gonna put this away. I might take it for a little test drive just to see if that feels any better at all, or if I can tell if it does. And then come back after our trip, or maybe possibly tomorrow. Again, before we go, I might come up with, I might find the right piece of metal and have the right amount of time. Put something like that together. But for today, I think I'm gonna walk away, get cleaned up, stuff like that. So I'll let this down. I'll take it back down in the other garage, but I might take it out on the road and just drive it up and down the road just a little bit, just to see if I can tell any difference at all, just from that. That might be a little sturdier than it was, even though it's not exactly where I want it to be. Okay,